Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. We are live at Motor Bar and Restaurant, hanging out at the Harley-Davidson Museum here right on the river in Milwaukee. He's Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. Josh DiMaggio running the show. And we're very excited to be joined by the head coach of Wisconsin men's basketball, Coach Coach Gard. Coach, thanks for spending some time with us today. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Of course, and we always like to have you on right around the big signature event for Guarding Against Cancer. Obviously, your wife Michelle started this years ago, and a big congratulations to you both leading the way. Over $7 million raised to help cancer research, cancer patients, cancer care, and all of that money stays right here in the state of Wisconsin. Talk a little bit about the big event coming up on Friday night at the Kohl Center for us.
Yeah, it's going to be a true Wisconsin Supper Club Friday night. So
love that.
Old-fashioned, fish fry, polka band, Madison County, whatever else they have planned. Matt LaFleur, he's coming down. It's going to be an awesome night. Biggest crowd we've ever had. Sold out. Don't have any more. We're full to the gills. No pun intended. Fish fry.
I like it.
You guys all right there?
I like it. So give me your great Friday night fish fry order. What sides do you want? What kind of fish do you want there? How are you making your old fashioned? Like, what's the Coach Gard fish fry Friday night special?
Your puns never run out, Coach. That's why I wasn't shocked.
What never ran out?
Your puns.
Oh, yes. Yeah, of course. All right, so I'm going to go cod, probably fried, depending on the batter. Baked potatoes if they have it. Side salad. Sweet on the old-fashioned. What else you want to know?
I mean, is it brandy, whiskey?
Depends what they're pouring.
Okay.
Brandy, typically, but if there's a high-quality whiskey, I'm up for that too.
Coach, I know you got to know Mike McCarthy well over his time with the Packers. How well have you gotten to know Matt LaFleur so far?
Just over the last month. Really, and I haven't met him yet. I've talked to him on the phone. He's been awesome on the phone. Got a hold of him, invited him to come down for this event, and he jumped on it. And like I said, I'm looking forward to just, the time I've had with him on the phone. He's, you can tell he's a coach's coach, and there's no, he didn't pull any punches on the way of the world, and you can tell why he's had success. So I'm excited to spend some time with him Friday night, and I know he'll be great for our crowd there too.
It's going to be fantastic. Talking with Coach Gard here on Scalzo and Brust across ESPN Wisconsin. Coach, you talk about another coach. He's had a busy couple of months as he's sort of waded through what his roster is going to look like come football season. You've had a busy couple of months too, but what are you working on right now? What's the focus of the basketball program here in early May?
Well, we're finishing up our last week of lifting. We've done 5 weeks of weight room work. So we've had an awesome here April, early May. We took about a week off after we got done in the NIT, and then we went right to the weight room and have gone full blast in that. And we'll jump into finals next week and then send them home for about a month. They'll come back mid-June, and we'll crank up 8 weeks of lifting and conditioning and throw in the basketball. We'll welcome all the newcomers then, the 4 freshmen and then A.J. Storr transferring in from St. John. So, we're still active in the portal. That, it's still open for another week and a half or so. We'll monitor that. We're involved with some kids right now in it. But we got technically 1 spot left that we could fill, but it's going to have to be, I like our group. We got, like, you've seen everybody is back. We have, 4 really good freshmen, 3 that are coming on scholarship and a walk-on, and obviously I think A.J. Storr can help us in a lot of ways. So the most important thing is helping these guys that are returning that went through this past season, help them take a big jump here in the off-season and get better. And having the core back in today's college basketball world is huge. With all the moving parts and the transfer portal and everything else that is associated with it, to have all these guys coming back, I think, is great for our future.
Coach, I want to stay there for a second because in today's college basketball, you don't get a chance to breathe, and you mentioned everyone coming back. When you think about the opportunity that you have, what were you able to do and say, really, to sort of keep a group together, which doesn't seem possible in today's college basketball?
Yeah, you really got to rely on your relationships, and I think that's been, always our strength here as a program and developing players. And really our motto as a staff has been recruit and retain. And retention has been talked about more than anything in our office. And trying to make sure we keep stay really close to our guys, which we see them every single day, except for maybe Sundays. And are in contact with them, because obviously, as the world of college basketball has changed, you have to be ever vigilant on your roster, and making sure everybody's in a good place, but also keep pushing and keep demanding more. So, like I said, I'm just really proud of our group of how they've stuck together, and they know that some good things can really happen this next year. I think we're going to be a really good team that's going to have some depth and some experience. So, like I said, I'm just happy for those guys that have, come through a rougher than normal year this past year and got a lot out of it. And now it's time to turn the page and use all that experience to make us better and get ready for 23-24.
Coach, I don't think I played in as many close games as you did in the entire last year of my career.
You're right.
Talking with Coach Gard here on Scalzo and Brust across ESPN Wisconsin. You talk about what hasn't changed, that idea of retaining the team, that idea of building those relationships with the kids. But you also talked about what has changed in your world, and that's the transfer portal and NIL, and how this is really kind of almost combined like collegiate athletics with sort of a part of professional athletics. Talk us through what happened with AJ Storr, what happened with Noah Reynolds, because you were able to bring those guys from St. John's and Wyoming, respectively, to UW to be a part of the Badger family moving forward.
Yeah, I think with all the things that have come into play in the last 24 to 36 months in college athletics, and you get the transfer portal, you get the emergence of NIL, you got immediate eligibility that kind of went hand in hand with the portal. And then you've got the COVID extra year. So you added groups of classes to have options to, A, either change their location, or B, continue on and use an extra year. And most of our guys have all decided, or obviously have decided to do it. We only had one in that position this year with Tyler Wall, and his decision to come back was really good for us. But you have to embrace all of it. You have to find your way and what's right for your program and your path. And there's a lot of things that go into that, just within NIL itself, of what is possible through the collective, what the opportunities are, because it's different at every single school. No two schools are operating the same way, and I think that leads to a lot of frustration amongst coaches and programs that there isn't a standardized way. It's kind of been create your own. So having said that, and embracing the portal and utilizing it when there's opportunities to bring in really good players that fit who we are. AJ Storr from right down the road in Rockford, and really that was our selling point to him, is like, hey, you can come back home, because he had bounced a lot because he got caught in the COVID. High school basketball got shut down in Illinois. He went to Vegas. It got shut down there because his dad lives there, and he ended up at Arizona Compass. And it just came through a total mess with how COVID blew up everything and the opportunities. So spent a year at IMG and then got highly recruited coming out of there. And, with the coaching change at St. John's, wanted to be a part of something different. And things lined up. He came up on a Saturday. I think it was Easter weekend. He flew home to see his mom in Rockford, and they drove up and spent the day with us. And, within 3-4 days later, he decided, I want to come home and I want to play in the Big Ten, and I think I can help you guys. And he's really been good to talk to, and I'm excited to get him here in June and really start working with him, because I think he brings some things to the table that that can really help us. And getting him around our experienced guys and within those guys, they will be really good for him too.
Coach, as a lifelong Packer fan from the big town of Cobb, Wisconsin, you've seen the Brett Favre, you've seen the Aaron Rodgers era. What do you make of the changing of the guard to Jordan Love?
No pun intended, right? The changing of the guard.
Nice.
See, I didn't even know I was doing that one.
every good thing has to come to an end at some point in time. And your Bears, Ben, will still be looking up, hopefully, at the Packers in the NFC North. We just got to make sure we keep tabs or keep the Vikings, Krabbenoff's Vikings, within arm's reach and take care of them. But you know what? It's the way of the world. Like I said, things don't last forever, and I'm getting a little taste of that world with the portal and NIL, and that it's probably has a little more structure in the professional ranks and guidelines and contracts and things like that. But I think Jordan Love will do good things. Hopefully, they can surround him with some weapons. Look like the draft went really well. I'll be interested to talk to Matt about that on Friday night. But from afar, I think they got some good pieces, and now you got to put them together and go play.
Talking with Coach Gard here on Scalzo and Brust across ESPN Wisconsin, the event he's talking about on Friday night. Matt LaFleur, the featured guest speaker at the Guarding Against Cancer signature event. A full-on Friday night fish fry theme, supper club theme for Guarding Against Cancer, one of my favorite events of the year, Coach. And we talked to you about the event, but talk a little about what the organization does. Ben and I have been involved for a while now, so sometimes I think we just assume everybody knows about it. But talk a little bit about the inspiration and how do the dollars that get donated into your organization ultimately impact people here in the state of Wisconsin? Well,
the biggest way, Greg, is through what we do at the Carbone Center with research, experimental trials, equipment that we've been able to help the Carbone Center purchase, all the things that go on there. And obviously that's one of the best research institutions and research centers from a cancer standpoint in the country. So we're really fortunate to have that right in our backyard, and the people there, starting with Howard Bailey at the top, have been phenomenal to work with. So a lot of the dollars raised go there. We also do outstate events. This next fall we'll be going to Stevens Point. They're our exhibition opponent coming up in October. We'll be up there in September to do an event. And whenever we do the outstate events, we pick 3 to 5 local boots on the ground grassroots organizations that, because there's no research institutions other than in Milwaukee and in Madison, the other parts of the state need help through patient care. So we'll pick 3 to 5 organizations within the Stevens Point area, within probably a 4-county radius around Point, and try to help them with their initiatives. So it's been all over the map in terms of what we've been able to do across the state. And I think we've been to maybe 8 to 10 different cities already, from Wausau to La Crosse to Eau Claire to Whitewater and Janesville to the Dells to Oshkosh. So we've done a lot across the state and targeted more the day-to-day battles and challenges that patients and their families go through that are living outside of Dane County, so to speak. And a lot of them come here to Madison for treatment and to see their doctors. But you're right, all the money stays right here in the state of Wisconsin, which I think has been really unique and awesome for our state. And the people have just jumped behind it. You guys have been in since at the ground floor on the steering committee, but I remember how it started with Michelle and I sitting at our kitchen table, 7 years ago, when I was being named the head coach going forward, and knowing that we were going to have this platform and this voice and this position to be able to do something positive for the cancer community. And it just exploded to where obviously it's not on our kitchen table anymore. We had to quickly get help, and the foundation at the UW, the Carbone Center, everybody that's had a hand in this has been awesome. To be able to go over $7 million in less than roughly incredible. 6 years has been awesome. And like I said, you got all that money is at work helping people across the state.
It's absolutely incredible, and there's so much to be proud of. And, one of the great things about the Carbone Cancer Center is that once that money gets in there from a research perspective, it actually multiplies, because a lot of those doctors are able to get grants off of the proof of concept they get through those donations. And so that $7 million, Coach, has, tens of millions of dollars worth of impact, and the multipliers continue to grow. So huge kudos to you and Michelle and the entire team at Guarding Against Cancer. Can't wait to see you guys here over the next couple of nights. And appreciate your time today.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. We'll see you Friday.
That's right.
Later.
Coach Greg Gard right there of the Wisconsin Badgers. Interesting to hear about how the NIL and transfer portals affecting the world of college sports. But I like his, hey, everything's got to end, right? When it comes to Aaron Rodgers, everything's got to come to an end.
I think, like you said, everything's got to come to an end from that, and you can tell, like, everything's got to come to an end in terms of how college basketball was once, gone about. It used to just be recruit, and guys had to sit out a year before they could play. Now guys can transfer right away and play. It's fascinating. I'm not gonna lie. I would have been gone. And Coach Gard talked about that when I ran into him at Alumni Weekend. I was like, "Yeah, my sophomore year, I was debating it."
You wouldn't have bet on yourself to say, "Hey, I'm going to win this competition. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna be the one to ultimately
trap Ben. Don't
become the leading."
I was trying to tell
shooter?
a fun story, and it turned into
no. I thought it was a very pertinent comment.
Greg
Was that
ruins it
inappropriate, Josh?
Yeah, you're cutting him off at the knees.
All right, finish the story.
He told me I would have transferred as a freshman. I mean, the story's no good. He just said, it's fascinating to me that it made sense. People that haven't even played a minute are transferring for money, and it's fascinating to me that is even possible, because I thought about transferring as a sophomore, and I didn't. It ended up paying off, but if you could leave without sitting out, like Frank, the Badgers as we know it, who knows if the Final Four teams would have stayed intact.
Well, that's why Coach talks about relationships, right? And that's such an important piece, as you know better than anybody, Ben, with your fantastic, successful career at the University of Wisconsin. See, that was a little kiss there at the end, Josh. You just to make him feel
man,
good.
Breathe again.
Shout out to American Family Insurance, amfam.com to find your local American Family Insurance agent. As a first-time home buyer, I was lucky that I had a relationship with AmFam because they were who we worked with for car insurance, and we became friends and had a good relationship with our AmFam agent. We trusted them. We got to know them. Now, anybody who works with AmFam has a local American Family Insurance agent, somebody you can build a relationship with. But the best part is it's a main point of contact. So if something goes wrong in your house, you see a little bit of a wet spot, you see something going on, you don't know what to do, start with your insurance agent. And it's not painful because you don't have to call a nameless, faceless 800 number and wait on hold and get a reference number. So when you call back 2 days later, you have to talk to somebody else new. That's not the deal with American Family. Help you on the front end with their digital home quoting tool to help you build your own policy. They help you with special coverage options and policies designed specifically for you, especially if you're a first-time homeowner. And they help you on the back end because you have a trusted resource, a trusted team at your disposal. Plus, you got great discounts like renovated home discount, a new home discount. And remember, when you protect both your home and auto with American Family, you can save up to 28%. So find your local American Family Insurance agent at amfam.com. We are live at Motor Bar and Restaurant here at the Harley-Davidson Museum. Pop on by, say hello, enjoy some Michelob Ultras with us at Scalzo and Brust.